Hello, nice meeting you. First of all, let me introduce myself. My real name is Kim Tessel, but most of my students call me Teacher Sid or Teacher Sol. So you can call me any way you want, but with due respect. So who I am. I am a bachelor's degree student who is studying in biomedical engineering major at CMITL and somehow guiding and teaching English language for all full skills for from young learners to older people with any kind of age. So, about my history of education, I graduated with flying colors from Basic Educational Education High School, Bhutan, number four. Later on, I pursued my education career in medicine at the University of Medicine One Yangon till to my second year. And after that, due to the COVID-19 pandemic and some other conditions, my enthusiasm changed into engineering field. So somehow I was swayed and persuaded by biomedical engineering major. So that's why now I'm currently studying in this field and major. So about my work experience, since after my high school graduation in 2018, I started tutoring and guiding mathematics and science subjects to primary students and secondary students. Later on, after 2 years in this teaching industry, I improved my skills in teaching and also I pursued my part-time career as a general English teacher since 2020 until to now. So I had taught and like guided from 15 years of age till to over 20 and over 30 years of aged students. So my students can be any kind of age. And now I'm currently pursuing ESL certificate and TESOL for my further development in this teaching industry. But due to my tight schedule, I have to spare my time only for like a few hours per day or like per week. So now I'm quite unsatisfied about that. Okay, so let it be. About my vision, whenever I taught any kind of students, I always mentioned about this one. So my vision while teaching my students is to enlighten students about English language, which is learnable and enjoyable. So I want my students to get some tips and tricks which can improve their fluency and like improvement in their English level after learning and teaching with me. Also, I always want them to get about some self-study methods and tips even after the classes. Not only with me, but also with any kind of teacher. I want them to realize and this kind of method and this kind of tips can be applied in their own self-study. And also, another fact, I always mention that if they don't see any improvement or any kind of like visible things which can be identified as their improvement, they can make any kind of other right choices by changing teachers or by changing other classes or something like that, only for the sake of their future and time. But unfortunately, there's barely any student like that. Okay, so that was a fun fact. So let me stop sharing this screen for a while. So this is all about my short introduction. Okay. And right now, I will like to introduce about this one, about the grammar topic, which is called active passive. Most of you have already known, but even after like knowing that, oh, this is the active, this is the passive. Yes, I've already learned about that, but most of my students and most of the students I have met have never ever applied that correctly. And there's barely any students, even though there is. So I would like to introduce you about this one really quick. Okay. Okay. What is active and what is passive? The normal simple sentence that we always use, like, oh, I go to school today. I eat cupcakes. I eat mohinga. Those kind of simple sentences, which include subject verb object that we use daily, is called active voice sentence. So what is passive voice sentence then? Passive voice means we exchange the subject and object place and some kind of tense structure, and that is called passive. So, oh, that's all. So what's the difference? So active means subject does, or did something to someone or about some reason. Passive voice sentence means it doesn't matter who does that. It's all about action and the one who was done by that, like this. So about the active, the most important thing and the most important meaning is what subject does. For example, I eat cupcakes. No matter what I eat, it's always matter what I do. So I eat, I go, I sleep, I study, I teach. So that's the mattermost thing. So that's the meaning of active voice sentence. So what about passive voice? So the passive voice is not focused on the subject or like object. Actually, it's focused on the action. For example, oh, this one. Ram killed Ravan. So who killed? Ram killed. So that is the active voice. The only matter in this sentence is who killed. About the passive voice, it's gonna change subject and object place. Ram will go to the place of Ravan, and Ravan will come to the place of Ram in the sentence. So it will exchange subject and object. Then Ravan, Ram. The only difference is the tense and the subject. So after exchanging subject and object places, we're gonna add by in front of the subject. So if we exchange Ravan and Ram, opposites, Ravan will be the first one in the sentence, and the Ram will be the last one in the sentence. So we're gonna add by in front of the subject Ram after exchanging their places in a sentence. So Ravan by Ram, like this one. And the only thing we need to consider about is the tense verb. Maybe some of you have already known like present and past and future, continuous tense, something like that. So about this one, it will give you like simple past tense in the active voice. So we have to change that past tense into some kind of form to be passive voice. So if they use simple past tense, we're gonna add was or were, and then change that simple past to the past participle was three after that. So it's gonna be like this. Ravan was killed by Ram. So the meaning is Ravan was killed by Ram. So what was happened? So it will be focused on the action only about the passive voice meaning. It doesn't matter who does that. It only matters what happens. It only matters the action. So that's the meaning of active voice and passive voice. So active voice will tell us a person or a thing does something or like someone. So that's the matter, the subject of matters. About the passive voice, it doesn't matter. So what is done to someone or something, the action matters for the passive voice. In Burmese, we see like active voice means subject do or subject does. For the passive voice, the first subject in the sentence is actually the object we exchange with the subject, right? So it's gonna be the one who is done. That's the meaning of the passive and active voice. Okay. So let me make it more clear. So active voice means subject does something to someone. It's a simple sentence. Passive voice means we exchange subject and object, and we change some of the verb tenses into some kind of form by adding be, B-E-B, one of the B. So in BEB, there are so many words like am, is, are, was, where, BEB, B-I-N-G, being, and be and been. So we're gonna add one of that words before the main verb, and that's all. Change the main verb into the past participle. So that's how we change from active voice to passive voice. For example, okay, if they give you present simple, are you to read, they read those books, we're gonna add one of the be am is was where be, and been in front of the main verb read, and then we're going to change that read into past participle, verb 3. So if they give you present simple, we're going to consider am, is, or are. If the subject is plural, we're going to use are. If the subject is singular, we're going to use am or is. Okay? So that's how we change the tense. So this is the general rule for the active passive. If you're going to change from active to passive, you have to interchange and exchange object and subject place. The object will be the first one, the subject will be the last one with the by. And then we're going to change the tense by adding one of the be, and is, was, were, be, being, been before the main verb. After that, change that main verb into past participle, verb 3. That's all. If they give you present simple, just consider am, is, or are. If they give you past simple, just consider was or were. That's all. So for example, they read those books. If you're going to change into passive voice, we're going to exchange object and subject first. So those books will be the first one, and they will be the last one. Buy them, something like that. And after that, we're going to change the verb tense. If they give you present simple, we're going to consider adding only am, is, or are before the verb. So let's take a look at our subject after exchanging. So after exchanging the places, the subject will be those books instead of they, because we are now changing into passive voice. So those books will be plural. So we're going to consider only are to add. So those books are. Okay, we've already added one of the be, are. After that, we're going to change the main verb from the active sentence into past participle, verb 3. So the past participle verb read is IED read. So it's gonna be those books are read. And then we're gonna add subject plus by by. So by them. So that's how we change it. But I read, you, they, he, she, it pronouns shouldn't need to write it again by adding by. So we can neglect or ignore that. So you can only write it down, those books are read. But if you wrote it down, those books are read by them. It's also correct. So, but it's some kind of old English form, so we neglect it. So you can also write those books are read, like that. But if they give you the past simple, past simple, yes, and the active voice, try to add was or were. And by looking at the subject, the books are plural, so we're gonna use were. The books were. The past participle brought is brought. So the books were brought by them or without by them. It's okay. Okay, so you only need to remember about that is the tense, how to change the tense. Just like I've mentioned before, if you want to change from present simple, try to add am, is, are plus verb 3, which is derived from the main verb of the active sentence. If they give you past simple, try to add was or were and change the main verb into verb 3. Okay? About the continuous tense and perfect tense means am, is, are, was, were plus ing from the start. So we shouldn't add am, is, are, or was, were. So what kind of words should we add? Oh, sorry. So there are still 3 words in be, which are be, ing, and be and been. So if they give you continuous tense, we're gonna add being, being. The form which includes ing, being. If they give you perfect tense, has, had plus verb 3, we're gonna add be and been. That's all. So where should we gonna add? I've already told you, like before the main verb. Before the main verb. So right here, you may see before the main verb. So here is was watching, is begging. So among them, am, is, are, was, swimming, helping verb right here, and begging, watching will be the main verb. So you can add before the main verb or like right after the helping verb. But I will suggest you to add before the main verb because that is the correct way to add it. So baking and watching is the main verb. So we're gonna add being in front of that. Is baking will be changed into is being. After that, just like before, we're gonna change the main verb into past participle. Baking will be verb 3, B-A-K-E, baked. So instead of is baking, it's gonna be is being baked. Instead of was watching, it's gonna be was being watched. So that's all. That's how you change from active to passive voice. And it's similar to the perfect tense, past half past plus 3. Instead of being, being, and M is our was where, we're gonna add bee and been before the main verb or active sentence. So right here, has visited, has cooked. So visited and cooked a main verb. So sorry, main verb. So we're gonna add be and been in front of them if we want to change to the passive tense. So instead of has visited, we're gonna add has bee and been. And then the main verb visited would be verb 3 past participle visited again. That's all. Had cooked will be had been cooked. So that's how you change the tense. About the future tense, will go, will come, will eat, and the infinitive. Modal plus infinitive. Like I can go, I can do, I must study, she must deliver, like that. So about those kind of words, we shouldn't add am is our was where be bing or ben. So there's only one less bed. So we have to add bed before the main verb if we want to change into passive voice in this kind of tense sentence, future tense and modal, past verb 1. So if the future tense give you like will go, we're gonna add bed in front of the main verb. So the will be. After that, we're gonna change main verb into past participle verb 3. Go verb 3 means gone. Visit verb 3 means visited. Like that. About this one, this is typing error. Okay, about the modal verb, it's similar to that. If it say can deliver or must deliver, if we want to change it into passive voice, we're gonna add bed in front of the main verb, deliver. So it's gonna be must be, can be, will be, should be, like that. After that, just like before, we're gonna change that main verb into past participle verb 3. Deliver will be delivered. So it will be like must be delivered. Okay, so that's how you change the passive voice. I hope you understand how we change from active to passive. Now, the last but not least, I would like to explain just a little bit about when should we use this kind of active and passive. So first of all, you should know which kind of tenses are used in which kind of situation. For example, for the present tense, you can use that tense when you want to say about your habits or your habituals, things or acts or general truths or something like that. Or I always go to school every day. Like the sun rises from the east every morning. So they are general truths. And those are your habits. So it always happens or it occasionally happens. So at that time, you can use present tense. Also about the past tense, past simple, similar to that. If it happens before or prior or in the past, you can use past simple. Similar to the present continuous, present perfect, or past continuous means it is happening right now. You can use present continuous. I am teaching you right now. You are learning active passive right now. So that's the usage of those tenses in active form. So what's the difference and when can we use those kind of tense in which kind of situation? What about in passive form? Similar to that. So when you want to mention about the present right now, or like your habits, or like the general truth, but this time your subject shouldn't be the one who does that. It should be your object. So instead of reporters, write you reports. That's our simple present. But it's always correct, right? It's always correct. in this kind of situation, we can also use in passive voice by changing our subject and objects. News reports will be the first one, and the reporters will be the last one. So, but it always corrects because reporters always need to write news reports. So it is always correct. You can also use present tense. But in passive form, you can use simple present passive form. Just like we have learned before, we're going to exchange object and subject, news reports, and then we're going to change present simple into present simple passive by adding am, is, or are in front of the main verb. Sorry. So right now, news reports are plural, so we're going to add are. So news reports are. After that, we're going to change the main verb into past participle verb 3, written. News reports are written, and then our subject will be the last one to mention, reporters, but with the addition of by in front of the subject, by reporters. So that means they are written by reporters. They are done by the last one. So that's where can we use it. So about the active passive, the only thing you need to know is if you want to express about the present tense, but in passive form, you need to know how to change the verb tense. After that, you can consider about what kind of object should you use, or like what kind of subject does this action to that one. So that's how we turn from active voice to passive voice. And when can we use the active and passive? Similar to the active, passive is the same meaning, but the difference between them is like just changing subject and object and some kind of tense form by adding am, is, are, was, were, beb, bing, and ben in front of the main verb. After that, change the main verb into past participle verb 3. That's all. So if you have mastered how to change the passive form in every kind of tense, later on try to use it in all situations that you have used active form like before, but this time try to use that in passive. Okay, so I hope you got it. And I would like to stop explaining about active passive because later on you will be like more confusing. So I hope you got it, how to change from active and passive and when to use it. I think you all need to master about active passive because it will be useful not only in your like English level, but also in your like the real life conversation too. And also that matters most when you want to improve your English level too. So that's all for today, and I hope you enjoy my teaching lesson. So thank you so much, and bye-bye.